Volkswagen has started its India 2.0 journey with its first Made in India, Made for India product, the Taycan SUV. Launched with a straight aim at the market share of the Hyundai Creta and the Kia Seltos, does this new SUV retain those typical Volkswagen values and still deliver what the customers want? This is the Volkswagen Taycan review. So starting with the looks, Taycan is a typically Volkswagen design. It has those clean, understated, elegant lines that scream Volkswagen. Though size isn't this SUV's main forte and it lacks that overall butch and masculine appeal of its rivals. On the front, the chrome-laden grille and LED lamps appear to be a single element and this looks very appealing. You also get chrome details on the bumper for that premium and muscular look. The rear design is unique with a single element light bar running across the boot lid, which means that you won't confuse the Taycan for anything else. Although the chrome detailing on the rear bumper does look a bit of an overkill on the Taycan. Okay, so driving the Taycan, the first thing a non-Volkswagen owner will do is what immediately comes to the notice is that this 1.5 litre turbo petrol unit is a very eager engine. It almost instantly responds to your accelerator inputs and isn't typically dead in the 1800 to 2000 rpm. This engine makes 150 horsepower and a healthy 250 Newton meters of torque. What we are driving today is the 1.5 litre turbo petrol automatic that comes with a 7-speed DSG dual clutch gearbox. The gearbox, to its credit, is alert most of the time, gives you smooth shifts and is very quick to shuffle between the gears. The steering is also pretty light at crawling speeds that makes maneuvering the Taycan a breeze. And yes, the dual clutch of this Volkswagen is far better calibrated than the ones present on its Korean rivals. Visibility all around too is very good, with decently sized windows aiding the visibility that extra little bit. The seats are also nice and supportive with good support, especially for the shoulders and the lower back. Moreover, that chunky flat bottom steering wheel oozes quality and feels very premium to hold. The suspension of the Taycan does have a firm edge to it that is typical for Volkswagen, but it does round off even big potholes pretty well. Acceleration is another strong point of this PSI engine. It loves to rev and boy, it goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in around 9.5 seconds. Although when you do press upon the accelerator after a slow start, the gearbox occasionally hesitates to downshift. Well, I didn't get a chance to check the car at seriously high speeds, but what I can confirm is that the car certainly feels a lot more planted than the Creta. The steering also weighs up nicely, although it's not exactly dripping with feedback. Handling wise, well, the reasonably direct steering, nice and tight chassis, and the finely tuned suspension of the Taycan will certainly appeal the enthusiasts. Although I did find that final degree of German heft to be somewhat missing from the Taycan. On the inside, the first thing you'll notice is that the Taycan feels narrower than many of its rivals. It's a clean, simple design that is suited to anything coming from Volkswagen. Everything is uncluttered and very conveniently laid out. You get Fox carbon fiber finish in the center and that is surrounded by ceramic-like finish to give the cabin a sporty touch. Although the overall quality does feel a bit pared down to what we have come to expect from Volkswagen Group of late. That includes hard plastics all around and even some exposed elements, which does come across as a surprise. The rear seats expectedly are narrow, best suited for two, although the cushioning and the backrest angle is excellent. You do get ample leg and knee room, and even the headroom is sufficient. As for the amenities to the rear passengers, well, you do get an armrest with cup holders, two of them, and of course AC vents, which does house the USB ports also. So the question is, should you buy the Taycan or not? Well, in isolation, this is an excellent car. Frankly speaking, I was disappointed with the interior and the fact that pure distilled German experience that Volkswagen used to offer has been diluted that little bit. That's obvious because Taycan is developed and made in India only. So things like this are to be expected. And apart from these things, there's nothing much to fault in the Taycan. But yes, there are three issues which I have mentioned in the title. And now let's talk about them. Now the first issue, not a major concern, but that is that the horn, which is in the starting of this video, that sounds absolutely pathetic, and that is seriously one of the main culprits to dilute that true German experience. Secondly, the DSG gearbox, the variant which we drove, this is to be absolutely avoided. Do not buy any car with this DSG gearbox if you plan on keeping your car for around 8 to 15 years for around 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh kilometers and above. So in short, if you plan to keep the car for long term, the DSG gearbox is definitely not for you. If you really want the automatic Taycan, the 1 liter TSI with the torque converter is the one to go for, because that has a torque converter gearbox, that too from Aisin, and those are really solid Japanese gearboxes. Might not be as energetic or performance oriented as the 1.5 liter TSI, but certainly in the long run, with concerns to reliability, the 1 liter TSI with the torque converter is the one to go for. The third thing is that if you are planning to buy the 1.5 TSI engine variant, now this is a very brilliant engine. It's far better than the earlier 1.4 liter TSI which was present in the Volkswagen Group cars. That engine was prone to a lot of problems as the car aged. But this 1.5 TSI is highly improved, and till now, even in the international markets where it has been present for a substantial amount of time, it's turning out to be relatively trouble-free. But then this engine comes with cylinder deactivation system, and that is something you should highly avoid. Why? I've covered it in a video and you can check it out by clicking the I button. If you don't want to check out that video, then basically what I mean is that in the long run, the cylinder deactivation technology is not at all, I should say, healthy for your engine. Get it removed. All this has been covered in that video. You can check it out. And summarizing it, the Taycan does get a big thumbs up. Will I buy it over the Koreans? Well, as an enthusiast, definitely yes. But as a family oriented person, I leave that to you. So that's all for today. See you again.